Can I get a Phillips head screwdriver or something?
Yeah, this one in here.
There's something funky with the reverb.
Spell preparation?
No. C-O. I can spell co. I can spell P-E-R-A-T-I-O-N. It's fun. I'm always afraid I'm going to cut myself. This is it's the oldest instrument in our group, obviously. It's just got that special sound, you know. That junkyard sound.
I've been playing like regularly for about 10 years. And I kind of dabbled with playing drums a little bit before that on like a homemade drum kit. So it's been pretty much 10 years that I've been playing in bands, generally with Gary. The first day we met each other, we started playing music together.
I decided I was going to be the bass player and she was going to be the drummer, so she gave me her bass. It's probably in need of some tuning up, because it kind of, I don't know, it's kind of taken a beating, but it works for now.
Are you guys having any kind of samples?
I have one sample that I use on Zenapath. I never actually use it, I just got this loop station thing. But it runs right through my amp at the same time, and it's only at, like, the end section.
And is it a bass loop that you play, or is it an actual?
No, it's a sample from a film.
Is it already in the pedal? Mm. Oh, okay. Yeah. Great.
So we wouldn't need to externalize it, it's all kind of in there. It's the Fender Fuzzwall. Reissue. Some guitar tech can probably tell you the whole story. I can tell you that it sounds right. And it's new. This is the newest member of Batshelter.
They're so messy.
What do we decide? Surface to air? No. Small Planet, Zenapath, John De Libretto,
Necklace.
and Necklace.
Necklace of Skulls.
Can you talk to me a sec, Gary?
Hello there.
Great.
This is Gary. I'm talking to Marc. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello. Talk. Taco. Taco, taco, taco.
Taco the Town.
Taco the Clown.
Well,
Taco the Clown.
Great.
The guitar sounds really funny to me in the headphones.
Funny how?
Like kind of muted almost.
Kind of muted? It's muted as in it's not bright, or it's muted as in it's not loud enough?
Maybe bright is the right word, yeah.
It's not bright?
Yeah.
So try that. Is that brighter?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I'm just changing the EQ on the send to your headphones.
Okay, yeah.
So brighter is better for you?
Yeah.
Do you guys want to run through a piece of just a couple measures or something and just start to get your headphones dialed in?
Sure. Yeah. Came at the wrong time.
Headphones are so odd. It's just.
What's that?
Headphones are just so odd.
They are so odd.
How's headphones so far?
Odd.
Off?
That's the consensus.
They're off, as in you're not getting anything, or you're just still...
it's fine.
No, it's just awkward
the whole world
still.
of
It's like a
headphones.
weird, like, it's always so weird hearing it in the headphones. The real subtle sounds I'm not, like, hearing. I just have to know that they're there and just...
Yeah.
Right. It's an act of faith. Exactly. Can I get maybe some, like, more mid-range in my headphones, too?
What's that, John?
Can I get more mid-range in the headphones?
Sure.
A little bit more mid. really influenced by an 80s new wave band called Wall of Voodoo. Like that song Mexican Radio, like the first time I heard that I was like, yeah, because they have this like weird science fiction spaghetti western kind of sound to it. I'm kind of trying to like write a movie soundtrack. That's kind of what I do, but they're like movies that are impossible to film. I think the first piece of music that I ever heard that really emotionally impacted me was the last scenes of the original Godzilla film, where they're like dun 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 dun, dun, and Godzilla's like getting attacked by all these like fire planes and tanks and everything, and he falls into the ocean, and it's like Godzilla's dying moment. So I think that's my first and most important musical influence. For years we played as the American Nihilist Party, and we had no set anything. It was just straight up noise, whatever came into our heads at the moment. When we got this group together, I was like, let's really have like a set list with real songs.
Let's actually write some songs.
We had a few transitions.
There was a point where
along
Gary wasn't in the band for a little while.
the way.
We
I was
had
kicked out for a while.
we had a different bass player, Dave Herder, and Jeff Shelton on guitar, and me on guitar, Dean on drums. When that dissolved after, I don't know how long that went on for. It was not too long. And then I don't know what happened after
Mutated
that.
again. Well, I kind of wormed my way back into the group.
Well, you started playing with James,
Yeah, I started
that's
playing with
right.
James,
and then I started playing with you,
and me and James, and
And
then we were the
James.
Chinese Draculas.
and then we're like, oh, we should bring John back in.
Yeah, because two SGs. It was kind of too much of a treat to resist. Now back to three-piece. Yeah.
10 years later.
Yeah.
A type of guitar.
SG guitar.
First band I got into, that was like a loud rock band, was AC/DC. Uses SG. And then later on in life, when I got into punk rock, Fugazi, Ian Mackay used an SG a lot, and then just got to be the guitar that I wanted to use, and finally got one.
What is it? Super,
Some guitar.
Super guitar?
Yeah,
Super guitar.
Super guitar.
Super guitar.
Oh, that's great. My kick pedal's broken. It'll still play. Yeah.
Broken in what way?
In a broken way.
I mean, but how can you play if it's broken, I guess?
Because it's a little bit wobbly.
We have another pedal, Adina, if that helps.
Yeah, that would help.
You want to tell Gina?
Yeah, Gina. Can I use your kick pedal?
Yeah. Do you want to switch
Yeah.
the gear out on it, or just use the wooden one? Because it might be a different
Oh
sound.
yeah, I guess I'd like to switch.
Do you have a key?
It's a really great pedal, but yeah, it's the second time it's broken. Thanks.
I started banging on a piano when I was probably 7 or 8. There was an old like barrel house piano we had in the house, and I would just sit there, and I never learned how to play. I still can't read a note of music. I don't know what any of the chords are called. I just kind of make stuff up.
I know it's weird. People think that like because I'm a drummer, I'm just counting all the time, but I'm not a mathematical person, and I'm not counting. I definitely have a little bit of I wouldn't necessarily say a chip on my shoulder, but I have a hard time. I'm very much like I like to do what I want to do, and I can usually hear it from John better for some reason. I don't know why. But me and Gary will kind of like butt heads a little more.
If something isn't exactly the way I want it, I usually find that I'm even more pleased by what Adina comes up with. So
Sometimes it helps if people like John does this. Sometimes you go, and then on this part it just goes ba 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 ba. And then I just go, ba, 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 ba. That I can like comprehend and make into something.
Everybody! Ultra Polka! 1, 2, 3!
When you have an idea for a drum beat, it's really hard to communicate that, especially like we were saying, not knowing how to express the nomenclature. But I think John has the magic formula for that. You know?
Yeah, he just describes it
Just
phonetically.
phonetically. Yeah,
That's a good way to put it.
Okay. Yeah, but we gotta
You know what
make
I
sure
mean?
we really bring it up.
Right. And let it kind of like you guys like give those first two measures like space, and I'll just like build it up from there and let the sample kind of like bleed in, and then build it up slow, and then let it crash out really loud, and then like kind of bring it down slow, but like in the last
quicker
measures.
than
Quicker than
up.
we did. Right, quicker than the build up, but let those last measures kind of like. Like kind of like yeah, drag it out.
Sounds good.
Usual. That was really
Sounds good.
helpful. See, now you see what we're talking about.
How do you write songs? Dish, dun, 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 dish, dun. And then it goes boom, bam.
Fellow Earthlings, there is a specter haunting the planet. Electromagnetism is life and death. The mysterious power of the lodestone acts itself out through the very magnets in the loudspeakers that now carry my voice to you. The Earth itself is a giant magnet whose fields of force suffuse every atom in your bodies. The ancients wondered how lodestones came to appear in our world. Perhaps they had been brought back by gods from the future to accelerate archaic man into the golden age. But that age has come and gone. Electromagnetic pulse.
We're always having to go to Buck Dancers and rent a bass cabinet. So my big dream for the longest time was to get my own bass cabinet.
We used to rent a cabinet.
For practice, you
Yes, and we'd rent a room, and half the time the guy, bless his heart, he's a great guy, but he would space out and not leave the key, and we'd have to break into the practice space. Now we have our own room.
A couple of times.
Yeah. One time we got locked in our space.
Got locked in our
man.
space.
Rock ourselves.
Right. We
In.
rocked it so that the
Like,
lock went. The
We were
deadbolt
playing so intensely, and the deadbolt
actually
would shake.
shimmied back into the
over
door.
and
So
over.
I freaking had to break the window, climb out through shattered glass,
chain link
over the
thing.
chain link fence and barbed wire to get these guys out.
It's a release and exchange of energy is why you do it.
Yeah, we can't afford therapy, so.
It feels good to play. It feels good to go out and see a band play.
I remember I used to have a lot harder time with stage fright. And that was actually something that I didn't like say it to myself, like, I have stage fright. But I would just feel really uncomfortable and nervous and stuff. And sometimes it would actually make me completely mess up. Like it'd be so distracting that I would screw up what I was doing. And I just really tried to do whatever I could to just tell myself it was fine. And eventually, just after over lots of shows, it kind of wore off.
Yeah, I remember a show, I guess it was Batshelter's first shows, and I was like literally like shaking, you know, like my legs are shaking, my arms are shaking, you know. Yeah. And now,
Scary. It can be scary.
and now it's just, you know, it's a part, you know, it's like a part of it. Like if you just write music and play music and just play it for yourself, that's fine.
We have
If you
played
share it
for
with
some
other
pretty
people,
dangerous
it's fun.
crowds, so you know I understand the shaking part. You know. I shook too. If you're in like, all right, where are we now? You know, the Fresno Oddfellows convention. You know, we'll still entertain ourselves,
Right.
because we just love playing.
Yeah, we definitely like, you know, I guess some bands I've heard, they all are really into doing shows, but it's hard to get them together to practice. But we religiously practice. I mean, it's only like once a week, usually, occasionally, maybe another day, but we consistently practiced every week, no matter who. We could care less if we were doing a show or not. We just loved to play. And when we started, we played like 7 hours straight. It was common. It was totally common for us to do that. Now it's usually like 3.
Yeah, 3 or 4 in a couple few hours.
Yeah, so to play in front of people is not that much different because you're just doing what you always do.
Bring me the head of John Deliberator, so I can have it. Bring me the head of John Deliberator, so I can
I started playing metal music like way back when I was like 15 and did that pretty religiously for a long time. And I'd never been in a punk band actually until I hooked up with these guys. Every person I played with, you know, sort of shunned punk, but I've always liked it. I mean, I liked it since I was a kid. So for me, it's just fun to be able to blend those two styles in, you know, my playing, and be able to kind of have fun with it and just experiment with it.
When you hear music and then you want a description of it, it's kind of redundant because you just got the description. Was in the sound.
We have several different styles that we do. We do crunchybilly, ultra polka, and fantasy core.
Hyper doom.
And then just, I guess, like straight up Roadhouse type, you know, rock and roll music.
I don't know, I think some people feel like when you become a mom, you have to give up certain things about yourself. Like if you were into punk rock or something, you have to like tone it down for the kids or something like that. But I think that kids benefit from parents who just are who they are as people. They're really supportive, and they've come to some of our shows and they always come up and give me big hugs and they're like, "Yay, Mom." My younger daughter says that when I'm a little old lady, I'll still be playing drums on my porch. You know, I'm like, that's right. For me, a lot of music was like kind of, it was like finding my own thing, you know what I mean? And like my mom listened to all kinds of music, which was awesome, but I'm glad she never really pushed it on me. It was just kind of there, and so I could kind of pick up on what I wanted to. I mean, I think that's one of the most fun parts about, you know, being a teenager is just finding your own thing, you know, and so I try not to like really, you know, push anything on them, but just sort of have stuff around, and then they can kind of choose. And then it feels like, you know, it's not like they're doing something that their mom wants. It's more like their own choice.
Hey, you up there. Come here. You look weird.
I told you I was indestructible.